Brooks Running has a new shoe for you runners out there. Did you hear that? Better turn up your volume. In fact, turn it up to the max. Introducing the all-new Ghost Max. It's got all kinds of things to make your knees and ankles feel protected, like Max Cushion, Max Soft Landings with DNA Loft V2 foam, and Max Smooth Rides with their Glide Roll Rocker. Feel better on your run with Ghost Max. Learn more at brooksrunning.com.
Day 3 of my exclusively adult virgin voyage. Last night, as I dined on the truffle gnocchi from one of the Michelin star chef-curated menus, I discovered something about myself. I do not miss the chicken nuggets in the back of our freezer. I do not miss them at all.
Come set sail on an award-winning adult Sony voyage. To learn more, visit virginvoyages.com or contact your travel advisor today. Now we're voyaging.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes, facts, boots, and other stuff.
in this week's issue, Marvel PSAs.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I am Zach, joined as always by the man wonder up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Mr. Mike.
Oh, God. That's a weird shaped bird and plane.
Well, it's kind of, I mean, you could kind of like shape your body like a plane.
Yeah,
Ow.
yeah.
I was trying to show you and hit the chair next to me like you didn't know what a plane looked like. But
yeah. What's a plane again, Zach?
so it's this thing. Yeah. No.
It's a big steel tube.
Yeah.
Sure.
We just chunk it through the air.
What is that? It's airplane, right? Like from the movie Airplane.
I think so.
They say, "What is that?" And they were like, "It's a big cylindrical tube that people get into."
I think so.
Yeah.
I loved the airplane and
Oh yeah.
Naked Gun movies and stuff like that. I used to watch them a lot when I was
Let's
a kid.
get some pictures, boys, and they start taking the pictures off the wall. Yeah, it's great stuff.
Oh man,
Good writing.
Speaking of great writing, what I have today.
We don't have any.
Yeah, no, we don't. What I have today, I'm not necessarily going to say it all comes down to bad writing, especially when you have to partner with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you have to concede if you're Marvel, if you work with another company, you have to concede in a way.
Right.
And sometimes this happens, though, to promote things. Or not concede, but sometimes you develop partnerships to work on things.
Sure.
And sometimes PSAs are made for this,
Oh.
for the spreading of better news, right?
I love PSAs.
Do you really?
I really do.
Okay.
Because
well,
they're
then-
always garbage. I mean, they're always rough, you know. Hi, DJ Jazzy Jeff here for not chewing gum while you're on the elevator
Well,
or whatever, you know.
This is along those lines, then you'll love this because these are Marvel PSAs.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So what I have here.
Oh, these are do-gooders.
Yes.
I love them.
So
Oh, I love this first one.
I kind of ranked them in order in how either weird or just crazy I thought they got. Our first one is Daredevil, and it says verse Vapora.
Oh, no.
And on the cover is a little boy who is playing with a fire truck, reaching for a giant thing of gasoline.
Well, kids love gas.
Yeah. Daredevil is acting like he's choking, and there's like a giant white, witchy, vapor-looking monster.
Sure.
Vapora. This is her only appearance, obviously.
Oh, no, come on.
Yeah. The one thing I don't know is because
Well, she
a lot of
dissipates
these,
so fastly.
because like a lot of these, I know it was like compliments of your physician and so and so, or you know, presented. You know, they were
Compliments of your physician.
Oh yeah, we're getting to that.
Oh,
So,
love it.
but this one is the only one that had a dollar value amount. It
Oh
says
my
$1.50 on it.
Who's paying for this?
I don't know.
Oh.
But we're going to learn, Mike. What do you think we're going to learn from this one?
I think we're going to learn not to play with gasoline.
That is exactly what we're going to learn about. So essentially, what happens
I
is
think they
it
explain a
starts
gasoline can to you on the first page.
that the first page in is how to keep vapor in the can, and
Sure.
obviously you have to explain what's going on.
Right.
But what we focus on here in the first page,
I got to say something just
Yeah.
real quick. That is a buttload of words for teaching kids not to play with gas.
Yeah, no.
That's so many words.
Here's the thing I've learned about a lot of these. They were all very wordy.
Oh.
So, Daredevil is saving a child from a burning building.
If I'm a kid, I'm looking at that and I'm going, I can start a fire. Cool. And then I'm just turning around and starting a fire.
And essentially, he goes back, or he breaks through a window to save this girl.
Mm-hmm.
And when he lands down, he takes her over to the medics and says she's still alive. And here was one thing that I found just very funny. The medic says, Bobby, start a drip, lactated ringers, KVO, and O's at 2 liters. Does that sound like just gibberish that they kind of just made up?
I think that I don't really understand why you need to say that to kids. You're trying to, and then, so he says, Bobby, start a drip, lactated ringers, KVO, and O2 at 2 liters. And then the doofus behind him that's also an EMT goes, call for a copter, Tom? Like...
Oh, they call for that copter.
But I'm saying smart guy, dumb guy, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. Basically, they take her in, and Daredevil can sense like this ghostly figure up from.
You can't see it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But up from the
why he
top
broke
of
the
the
window. He didn't use
apartment
them.
building, and it's Vapora. He can sense that she's there.
Yeah.
And the firefighter tells Daredevil, if that little girl lives, Daredevil, it'll be thanks to you. Daredevil replies, did everyone get out of there, fireman?
Fireman.
And fireman says, everyone who's still alive.
And fireman says, everyone who's still alive. Yeah, no shit, fireman.
And then he just looks up towards the fire and just has like a grimace on his
But
face.
again, he's blind.
I know.
Okay.
I guess he feels the heat.
Okay. Woof.
Next, we go to how are we going to get Daredevil more
fireman.
involved with this is essentially the guy who owns the apartment building shows up at Matt Murdock's law firm. And he's telling him like, Daredevil says, they say that little girl rescued by Daredevil. It's always weird when he's like talking about himself.
Yeah, it's like third person.
Yeah, is not doing well. 3rd-degree burns over 75% of her body. Severe smoke inhalation.
They didn't start that O2 drip fast enough.
And he said doctors don't expect her to live.
Oh, no.
And the landlord says her name is Angel Jusco. I remember when her parents brought her home from the hospital for the first time. I'm a good man, Mr. Murdock, a good landlord. I know my responsibilities. Basically, the cops are accusing him of arson for like the insurance money.
Yeah, sure.
And he's like, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah.
So Mr. Murdock's like, obviously he can tell or sense a heartbeat when he's asking him questions. So he's like, he didn't lie to me. So like, I'll take his case. I'll help him out. So essentially, Matt goes back to the crime scene with the cop there, an arson investigator.
Right.
And when they're looking through
Fireman.
trying to find where the start of the fire could come from, they kind of get into like this big thing of gasoline vapors is what they're trying to pitch more.
Right.
Because Matt's like, anything that'll prove my client didn't commit arson. I was thinking more along the lines of some kind of gasoline vapor. And then he was like, can you, that's then this was a little weird to me. The inspector said, unless it's like accurate, and I just didn't know this. He points up and he goes, you smell it? You a Vietnam vet? That how? Or that how you were blinded? And Murdock says, no. And then the arson cop says, not many people could pick it up with all this smoke damage. Vets can because it smells like napalm. You smell a jungle on fire with napalm, you don't forget it.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, sure.
Again, this is a kid's comic.
Yeah. And
But-
we're talking about Vietnam, O2 drips.
A girl's not going to make it.
Yeah,
I guess
this is great.
We're talking about, this is serious. We want to talk about how serious it is.
Sure.
So,
No
basically.
kid is making it through this comic. No kid.
No, look how much words
I
are
know.
on
There's so
this.
many words.
I'm trying to paraphrase as best as I can, and it's hard. So the arson cop says, well, gasoline fumes are heavier than air. They move like some invisible fog.
I learned that in that instructional documentary Backdraft.
So essentially we're showing, I'm just going to skip ahead to more of the ridiculous.
Sure.
There is one of,
Vapora looks mean.
yeah, Vapora is now turned into, while they're trying to figure out what's there. Matt can see Vapora with his senses, I guess.
Okay.
But she leaves. Yeah, I don't know. She leaves, and she's kind of like looking like a beast, like, she's hungry. She's looking to feast in a sense.
Sure.
And we come across, I guess, somewhere else.
Like a vampire.
Exactly.
But
except
fire.
Yeah. There you go. She's a fire vampire. Vapora, fire vampire. The mom, there's a mom and a kid in a cage. Like this baby, thing kind of looks like a cage.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It has a lid on it. I don't know what else to call it, but it's like
it's a baby cage.
I think it's just the way it's drawn. It's a baby cage.
Sure.
But the way it's drawn, it looks like it has a cage on top.
You ever seen those baby cages that they used to actually have?
Yeah.
Like the ones we talked about this before.
I don't think so.
That they put out on the window.
Yeah.
And like you would put your kid just dangling over the cityscape.
Yeah. Give them some fresh air.
That was when they were having the big Spanish flu or something. I don't know what it was. Something.
Yeah.
Measles, mumps.
Something.
Mumpy measles.
We're always catching something.
Something, yeah.
So the mom
put your kid in a cage.
Is saying gum on the new carpet. How many times have I told the kid not to chew gum in here?
That's right.
And she has a rag.
That's the real lesson from this comic.
And she has a rag and she's using gasoline to clean it.
That's the only way to get gum out of carpet.
Have you ever thought? I don't know why has never. Was that something?
I use it to clean my dishes. I use it to get gum out of my carpet. I use it to. It does wonders on the dogs.
Okay, like I know, as a kind of a little bit of a. I don't want to fully claim it because I feel like people get mad, but a little white trashy.
Sure.
We use gas for more things than we needed to, probably.
Sure. Well, it was always like the thing you use to clean your hands off with grease, paint, stuff like that.
And then also, like, we use gas as like a paint stripper on stuff. Like, so we use things it wasn't supposed to be used for. Or like our dad had us use things that it wasn't supposed to be used for.
A cocktail mixer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Burns going down.
And coming back up.
Kind of similar to scotch. So, I kid. But the mom's using gasoline.
You're not really drinking gas, Zach? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I just feel
Thank
like
God
it's
you had to
necessary.
clear that
I don't
up.
know.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, but so the mom's using it to clean gas out of the car.
Carpet.
Gum out of the carpet. Gum out of the car. Did I say gas?
She's using gas to clean the gas out of the gas.
Thank you. So, but she leaves the open gas container by the baby gate. Just open, right?
Baby cage,
exactly. And she goes, between your sister's gum, your spit up, your father's coffee cups all over the house, I can't get a break. And she sits down and she says, stupid lighter never works. She's kind of,
oh my God, she's just an idiot.
She sparks up with the open gas can behind her and everything catches on fire.
Vapora.
And Vapora's like, I'm loving this, right? So her next page, essentially what we have here is then it shows us another story. Here's what's weird is I just realized we never go back to this. So I'm assuming. It just
explodes and the baby and the woman is dead, I guess.
It says the creature feeds, then moves on.
So they're just dead.
I'm assuming they are because they don't show back up.
Okay.
Then we're introduced to a story of basically a older brother and his younger sister. His mom asked him to watch the younger sister. While the parents go out to, I think, like a show or something.
So he puts a rag full of gas over her nose, puts her to sleep for a little while.
So they're using gas to clean the bike.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Sure.
Well, I don't know how necessarily. I guess, they start up the bike and
Vroom.
The sparks from it shoot out and it creates a fire around his little sister. The brother throws water on it, and we learn waters they excel at gas fire.
They're accelerant. Sure.
Exactly. You idiot. Water and gasoline don't mix. You only spread it.
Vapora.
And so Vapora's just loving this.
Yeah.
Daredevil shows up though, and the kids are begging him to go help our sister, obviously, because she's trapped behind the fire.
Right.
So Daredevil has to fight against Vapora and slide underneath the fog and fight through the fire to get to the little girl to save her. So it's a big, it spans pages of this.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Vapora's finally trying to pull her back into the smoke. And Daredevil is able to find it. a fire extinguisher, and it says praying that it's a B-type fire extinguisher.
What the?
I don't know why it matters. It just says praying it's a B-type.
What's an A-type?
I don't know, right? Or is that D? But it says B. Either way, he's hoping it's a specific.
Yeah, he says hoping that it's a. That looks like. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Kids are going to be spraying their D when they should be spraying their B.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, and it ends up basically getting rid of Vapora, and he's able to save the little girl.
wow, thank God.
Then we go back to criminal court, where
Criminal court.
it says Manhattan Criminal Court.
Yeah.
And Matt Murdock is now arguing for the landlord again, and he says, "Yes, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, gasoline vapors caused the terrible fire. But maybe we are too quick to accuse the landlord of arson. Maybe people don't know how dangerous gasoline really is. Gasoline is a motor fuel, nothing else." And then he goes, "Yeah, these people take big risks in using it to clean things and to remove things. It's a motor fuel, nothing else." And then the judge says, "This is a good example of how." It looks like it's the judge, but it's still Murdock.
Yeah.
Murdoch goes, "This is a good example of how not to use gasoline. Our investigation has shown that the tenant, Mr. Jusko, was using gasoline to remove tile adhesive in the kitchen. The little girl he saved at the beginning,
Gotcha.
he was using, that's what caused the fire.
Saved her from
Vapora. And he goes, and now look at the sad price his daughter badly burned, and all his family belongings are gone. Not even, her parents can blame the landlord. Like, they don't even blame him. You can't blame
all
him.
his tchotchkes."
And so basically the jury goes away and they come back and they say, "Not guilty." And they celebrate for, being able to show that he's not guilty. And then it just ends with that, Angel Jusko will live. Abraham Rutowski, who's the landlord, will collect insurance money and rebuild. The thing in the garage is gone, destroyed, but it's not Daredevil. But it's not. Their punctuation's hard to see on this. Yeah. Daredevil knows it's not. It's only hiding, biding its time, waiting for its next victim. Spring, summer, winter, fall, it doesn't matter. It's always the season for tears. And that's where it ends. And then the last page ends with "Vex the vapors, play it safe with gasoline."
Let me give you a little bit of knowledge here. There are 5 different types of fire extinguishers.
Okay.
There is A, which is ordinary combustibles, wood, paper, rubber, fabrics, and many plastics. Then there's B, which is what they were referring to here: flammable liquids and gases, gasoline, oils, paint, lacquer, and tar.
So it was a gasoline fire. So okay.
There's C, fire involving live electrical equipment.
Really?
There's a D, that is combustible metals or combustible metal alloys.
Are there different like fire retardants in each one?
I guess. And then there's a K. So A, B, C, D, K. Fire in cooking appliance that involves combustible cooking media, vegetable or animal oils and fats.
They were like, "Oh, we have to remind people
that it's
B. Cooking. Kitchen."
Right.
They'll remember that.
That's what it is, I bet. Yeah.
So.
But there you go. There are 5 different types. Thank you, Daredevil.
Wow. Yeah. So.
Who the hell is checking their fire extinguisher before you try to put out a fire? Because I got to tell you, we got a problem if I've got a vegetable or animal fat combustible fire going on and I try to spray it with one of these A's.
Like I'm saying, does it not work on the other
That's
fires?
what I'm saying, right? I mean, I'm like, the whole system has failed me at that point.
I feel like we need to do research on this.
Yeah.
We need to start different kinds of fires and buy fire extinguishers.
Welcome to our new show. Which type of fire extinguisher do you need?
Yeah, the only thing is I think it would last one season. And then
well, we get 5 episodes out of it
That's
at least.
True.
We can do the K first if you want.
All right. We'll move on to our next Marvel hero.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is great.
Our next Marvel hero who is trying to help us learn things. And this is the one that was compliments.
You know what you didn't mention?
Oh, what? I did forget on the back. I'm sorry.
This is put out by Gamma, which is the education. This educational program is sponsored by the Gas Appliance Manufacturers Association in cooperation with the Consumer Product Safety Commission. So, not once Not once in this comic did a gas appliance cause any of these fires.
That is true. It was always gasoline.
That's right. It's always gasoline. It has nothing to do with gas appliances. That's right. They want you to know that.
It's kind of like, what was that documentary I watched?
Big Gas?
No. There's always big everything. We're about to get into big pharma.
All right.
So, but it was like, that's what the sugar industry did to like try to cover up how bad sugar was, is they tried to place the blame on fat.
Yeah.
Oh,
like I do remember that. Yeah. I saw that.
I don't remember what it was, but it was, you know, a similar way like that.
I think that was Logan Paul explaining it to us on YouTube or something.
Do you watch that guy?
No.
Ever?
No, the guy's a doofus.
Well,
yeah.
He comes up on my YouTube.
I'm gonna fight a wall. You know, that kind of thing.
I'd watch that.
Oh yeah, well,
I think
I would watch him fight a wall.
I think the wall would win.
Yeah. Well, like, that's only in a.
Does he have to punch through the wall to win? What is you winning against the wall?
That's a contest of like intellect where the wall would win. That's big shots at Logan Paul.
Yeah, please don't hurt us.
Whatever. Please hurt me. I'll take the money.
Michael fight you for the money.
Oh hell yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. If I got to take a punch and go down for a bunch of money, sure.
Are you just going to go, like, I feel like you'd have to, like, if you just go down, people are going to
I'm going to take a punch. I mean, I'll take a punch.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Would you try to, like, would you go in there trying to beat him or just be like,
no.
I'm going to try to last as long as I can?
I'm not going to try to last as long as I can either. I'm just going to take a punch and go. Give me my check. I got to go. I got to get these teeth fixed.
All right. So we'll get into our next Marvel hero, which is Captain America.
Captain America.
And this is brought to you compliments of your physician and Glaxo Inc.
Glaxo.
Glaxo.
Oh,
Glaxo.
That is big pharma if I ever heard it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And this is...
If you're allergic to Glaxo, don't take Glaxo.
This is Captain America meets the Asthma Monster.
Oh, no. He's green like snot.
Yeah.
That's great.
So...
Love it.
This one essentially...
The Asthma Monster.
After that one, every other one I read, they reintroduce the character on the first page. Like, you might not remember who Captain America is.
Hey, kids, if you don't know who Captain America is, remember, he's Earth's mightiest hero. Wait, he captured a spy ring.
Did he?
See that? Yeah.
Oh, is that one of the headlines?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, saboteurs fail in factory plot with Captain America on scene.
All right. Great.
Okay, so it reintroduces Captain America,
saboteur.
but now we're to Attack of the Asthma Monster. And essentially, we're put in a classroom. I don't know what age, but it's like elementary school
They
kids.
look like yeah.
Fourth graders, fifth graders.
Yeah, fourth graders, fifth
graders. Yeah, something like that.
Kids that love gas.
Yep.
Sure.
A lot of it. But not gas appliances.
There's old Abraham Lincoln on the wall,
There's
too.
Abraham Lincoln on the wall.
Yeah.
Don't really know what they're learning about.
No.
They don't care either because one of the kids has a flyer that says, hey, Captain America is going to be at Simmons Mall.
Oh, Simmons Mall.
Everybody, we should go see that. And this kid, what is his name? John. So John, obviously.
John the kid.
Oh, I forgot how plain their names are when it comes out later. Yeah. But John is like coughing.
Why
like
doesn't
he's
Captain
having
America
a
have
coughing
any
fit.
nipples?
I don't know.
He doesn't have any nipples.
Maybe it was against the comics code. But the other kid's like, "What's with you, John? You sound like you sound like a perched trout." Like he's making fun of him.
Trout.
He's making fun of a beached trout.
Oh,
My bad.
Beached trout.
Yeah, some of it's hard to read.
That still makes about as much sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But so kids are making fun of him for his asthma. The other kids stand up for him though, and they're like, "Hey, he just has asthma. Like, leave him alone."
You breathe funny.
Yeah, and the other guy's like, "You can't go see Captain America because you're different." Like,
that's because of his asthma?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want to try to find the thing. Oh yeah, sure, he's
Captain
okay.
America.
Otherwise, he couldn't go see Captain America, could you, John? They don't let sicko nerds in to see him.
Sicko nerds.
Dude, sickos can't stand the excitement.
Oh, no.
He's called a sicko
Poor
nerd
kid.
for having asthma.
Oh.
So his teacher sends him to
That is
the
truly
nurse.
the result of the asthma monster.
Sends him to the nurse to take his medication and to lay down. And
Sure, answer to everything, nurse.
Calm
Lay down.
And he's just looking at that flyer about him being at the mall, Captain America being at the mall, and he's getting sad.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mom and Dad never let me do anything. I guess I'm very worried, too, about my asthma. I'm never going to be able to do anything. Wow. And then the nurse comes back in and says, I brought you a companion in misery. I figured you wouldn't mind. And we're introduced to our other second character, which is this little girl who also has asthma.
Oh, good.
But we find out
Birds of a feather.
she is the captain of the swim team. And he's like, how are you the captain of the swim team with asthma?
You're a sicko nerd. How can you swim?
So basically, she's talking about how like she's learned what her triggers are.
Yeah.
We're going to learn about stuff on this podcast too today, folks.
Yeah.
But while she's teaching him about asthma, even though he has it, he doesn't know much about it.
Right.
So our, I can't remember her name. They're very generic. Is it Ruth? Yeah, it is Ruth. Her name is Ruth. So Ruth tells John all about asthma. When all of a sudden a green guy, they hear a commotion, and they run through the door back to see where the nurse is at.
Yeah.
And that giant green guy, the asthma monster, is spraying her with a mist, and she has asthma symptoms now.
Dear God.
So basically, he's giving people asthma.
Oh, no.
Well, he sprays the kids.
Diminished lung capacity.
He sprays the kids, and he talks about like, I'm gonna get you with my allergun. That's what he calls his gun. He uses.
Come on.
And he sprays them, and the girl goes, allergun? That sounds like allergens. That's the stuff that gives us asthma attacks. And the boy goes, and our medicine fights against it. And the boy goes, the monster, so you little beast have learned of the antidote, but I know where you get it. So now,
good Lord,
asthma medication is not thought of as asthma medication, but as antidote to this villain.
To the asthma monster.
That is, you will find that to be a common theme through a lot of these.
Yeah.
But so,
well, you got to defeat him.
Basically, what happens is he breaks in and he sprays all the classrooms.
Oh my God!
Before he leaves,
everybody gets asthma.
Ruth and John,
you get an asthma. You get an asthma.
Ruth and John are the ones that don't get bothered because they took their asthma medication.
Oh, I see. They're fighting.
Yeah, and then they chase him down, and he just disappears out of thin air. So
as asthma is often
John goes, hey, I got an idea. Let's call Captain America.
Sure, on the secret Captain America phone.
And she's like, that's great. Only the asthma monster is just stealing breath. He's not messing with national security or anything. She's like, this problem's not big enough for Captain America.
Fourth graders love national security
issues. They
issues.
do. And he's like, hey, he's going to be in the neighborhood. We can at least try.
Sure.
And she's like,
he's going to be at the Johnsonville Mall or
so
whatever.
he finds the number and he calls that number.
What number?
And he gets,
what
says,
number?
There's an 800 hotline printed on the ad.
Oh, okay.
So that's what he calls the 800 hotline number.
Yeah.
And he goes, swell, a computer answered. We reached his darn answering machine.
What they don't understand is it's an after dark number for Captain America. It's his sex line.
So he's just not in working hours.
Hey, do you have something that
so basically
interferes with the freedom in America? Do you want to?
I'll stop you. I'll throw
my shield at you.
Oh man, times are tough. But Ruth tells him to leave a message, so he's like, yeah, this is John Wilson and Ruth Johnson, like the most basic names.
He's like, oh, thank God you called, kid.
And he's like, calling. An asthma monster is attacking George Washington School in Midville. Aren't these the most
Midville.
The generic names? Yeah. And he's like, come help us. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
And they're like, well, that's that. I hope he calls in soon. And they're like, we'll go outside and try to find police. Like they were going to wait. Is
that how Captain America works? You pick up the phone and you call him and leave a message. And then he calls you back and goes, you sure it's a problem? Yeah. All right.
But they decide to go outside and see cops when a giant yellow van pulls up, and it's Captain America.
In a big yellow van.
In a big yellow van with no windows on the side. I just noticed
Hi, kids. I was out delivering packages, and I heard your call.
He's got a sex hotline. He's working for FedEx or
Sure,
UPS.
sure. Times are tough, kids.
He probably changed in the back of that and then drove there.
Hey, would y'all do me a favor? Take a picture of my feet. God.
Oh, man. I'm going to do one with the boots on and then with the boots off. Oh, man. Now I need you to hold the boots about waist.
Sicko freaks like my boots.
Oh, man. So then the kids, they're like, he's like, Captain America. Captain America goes, and you must be John and Ruth. My computer relayed your message Relayed your message promptly. Good thing, judging by what I see here. Oh, I didn't. Can you hand me that
absolutely.
One again?
There you go,
I
sure.
wanted to
Daredevil
mention that I'm pretty sure I have to find it. Yeah. The Daredevil comic about not using gas to clean up, that's from 1996.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that wasn't, I figured these would be later.
Sure.
Just to try to show you. I can't remember. I think this is like late 70s.
That looks earlier. Yeah. Way earlier.
These other ones are like late 70s.
My computer relayed the message.
Yeah. So.
Cap, that's just a cassette player.
But so they get in the van and they're going to go try to hunt him down. And the
booger monster.
Yeah. And so basically Captain America calls, this is Captain America calling. Some of the citizens of Midville have succumbed to the attack of a villain calling himself the Asthma Monster.
Did he ever call himself the Asthma Monster?
No, the kids did.
The kids did, yeah. And here's the only villain I can think of that if you just do what you're supposed to, then he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
He literally said it himself.
Exactly.
He's like, oh, you know the antidote.
Your medicine.
Oh, well, I'll get you anyway.
This is where I like the rest of the story just because I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
So they basically say, or Cap tells them that he's not alone because they're like, be careful, you could be attacked by them or by him. And he's like, I'm not alone. I have a couple of witnesses here who are eager to help today. And Ruth says, but I can't run for long. Every time I do, I get an attack. And Cap goes, don't worry, you won't have to. And he points to the back at a motorcycle in his van.
Oh.
So then all three of them ride the motorcycle, which is unsafe. We do not care about...
He has helmets that fit children.
Yes.
In the back of his windowless van.
Yes.
That's got a motorcycle in it.
Yep.
That he points to and goes, hey, kids, look in the back of my van.
And he has 2 helmets that fit children.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. That's weird, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But,
all right.
So all 3 of them are able to hang on, and they look so small compared to Captain America at the very top.
Small children, yeah.
But they're hanging on, and all of a sudden...
There is no motorcycle in America that fits 3 people.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, both Ruth and John, they're getting too excited, so they think they're having an asthma attack.
Well, they got the helmet on,
because getting too excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Captain America says the most important thing is to remain calm. Yeah. I know a technique that might help. You ready for this, Mike?
Look at my feet.
See if this works for you. Just close your eyes.
Got it.
And imagine that the wind blowing past you is blowing all your worries and excitement away.
Sure.
Till you're calm, totally calm, and totally at peace. And then there's like, hey, it worked. That's all he told him.
Thanks, Cap.
Which, by the way, also, I don't know how they're having these conversations driving on the back of a motorcycle.
Well, it's not like they have microphones or anything. Yeah,
they're just yelling this at each other.
Be calm!
And he's like, I'm better already. How did you know what to do? And Captain America says, why, I had asthma when I was young. There you go.
Before I got a secret thing that they injected in me and I lost my nipples and became Captain America.
I'm not a sicko nerd like you guys anymore.
Right. I got better.
Yeah. That's what he's telling him. But he's like, I remember this from being a weak.
I remember when I was a weak sicko nerd like you kids.
So,
wow.
But they figure out that, oh, hey, he said that when he attacked us, we had found the antidote.
Yeah.
I bet you that, where is this? They tell him where to go, and I'm trying to, so Cap says, this is just conversation that nobody says to anybody. As he's talking to the kids, sure, I learned then, talking about when he had asthma, that if I could stop being scared during an attack, calm down and take my asthma medication as my doctor instructed me, not only would my asthma become more controllable, but I was also able to think more clearly about other ways to help myself.
In 1941.
It was a very important lesson to learn. It saved my life a number of times after I grew up when I was battling evil villains. Those which I can't say in this PSA.
Right, sure. Because someone else owns the copyright.
Exactly. Being attacked by a condition like asthma or a supervillain like the Asthma Monster isn't so different because they both contain the word asthma.
Aren't they both the same thing?
As I guess essentially it doesn't say it in there.
Sure.
But they tell them that we need a cool head, and essentially they're headed to. Dang it! Where was this?
Johnsonville Mall.
I can't find where they come. Oh, here we go. I think I know where he would have gone. He noticed our medicine and worried that it might thwart his plans.
Oh, shit, he's going to Glaxo.
You would think so, right? You would think so.
Yeah, you would think he's going to Glaxo,
okay.
yeah.
They're going to get promotion in there. The kids go, and Dr. David has lots of it in his office. I'll bet the Asthma Monster went there to destroy it. Straight to Main Street and turn left.
Oh.
No, just, hey.
Dr. David.
You got asthma, go see Dr. David.
You ever seen the movie Young Doctors in Love?
No.
So it was made by the same guys who made a lot of those airplane type movies and stuff like that. There's one where it's just a ridiculous movie. Like, there's one announcement that comes over that Dr. Johnson, you're needed in proctology. You have an asshole waiting for you. That kind of stuff, right? And then there's one where a girl brings in her pet duck and has the doctor look at it. And he goes, tell everybody that Dr. Buck fixed your duck. And that's what I think of whenever I hear Dr. David.
Dr. David. But
Buck
again,
fixed your duck.
If I was thinking like a supervillain, I would think, go to the corporation.
Yeah, I got to go to Glaxo.
Also, if I'm Glaxo, I think that's more ways to get Glaxo in too. And we're associated with being the cure to asthma. Maybe that's what they didn't want to be viewed as, the cure to asthma, because they were just medication.
Yeah, that's true. I need to. You keep going with this. I'm looking up Glaxo.
Okay.
I want to see what's going on in the Glaxo world today.
The kids are right, and the Asthma Monster has been there, and he's attacking Dr. David.
Oh.
And Asthma Monster has Dr. David by the scruff of the neck, and he says, "The antidote. Tell me, where do you keep it?" He's not even like, "Hey, where do you keep the asthma medication?"
Yeah.
He keeps calling it
antidote. Sure.
And he's already sprayed Dr. David, and Dr. David, through his asthma attack, tells him that, no, I'll never tell you.
No.
So Captain America...
I'm never telling you it's behind that door right there.
So
that you're standing
basically,
in front
Captain America goes in to battle him, and they get into a fight, but the Asthma Monster is able to spray Captain America into the face with his gun, so he starts having an asthma attack. And they're like, but he keeps fighting while he's having the attack.
Sure.
And the kids, Ruth and John, are like, man, he's so brave for fighting, but how can he fight if he can't breathe? We'll never stop him. My stomach, it feels funny. I know, cough. And so they're starting to get attacks too. Everybody's getting asthma attacks. They run to grab inhalers for themselves, and they grab one for for themselves, and then they run over to Asthma Monster and they spray him with their inhalers.
Oh, thank God, just in time.
And it blocks whatever mask he's wearing, and he can't see. And Captain America hits him over the head with a shield, and they end up breaking his mask, and he goes and he ends up tying him up, and we find out that basically...
Wait. The Asthma Monster is a guy?
Yeah. Oh, just wait. Let me tell you why. Because with his mask, he starts coughing and he can't breathe.
Yeah.
And basically, Captain America just knocks him out while he's having an asthma attack.
He's a sicko nerd.
Yeah, that's true. So they tie him up and he's like, come on, do what Dr. David says and take a breather of this medication, like to the
That
guy.
is how you kidnap people there.
That's what he tells.
Do what Dr. David says and inhale deeply.
That's what he tells that's what Captain America tells the guy playing the Asthma Monster.
Yeah.
And he goes, then I want you to tell us what that attack was all about. And the guy's like coughing. He's like, no, I won't take any medicine. And he's like, but why? And the guy goes, I got asthma, cough. Got it when I was a kid.
Cough.
They said make the best of it.
Cough.
And the kids go, like you did, Captain America, like us. Because
Sure.
those kids have already made the best of it.
Yeah.
And the guy goes,
Yeah, again, Captain America had a little help.
that's true. But the evil guy goes, but I hated asthma. It made me feel sick, cough, and different. He goes, no, I didn't want to. I didn't want to breathe like other people. I wanted them to be like me. So I planned and studied, and I became an inventor, and I made a sealed suit and wore it.
What?
Yeah. And Ruth goes, but you could
There's easier ways to get back at people.
Ruth goes, but you could have helped yourself like we did and taken your medication. And
Yeah, dipshit.
And the evil guy says, it protected me from all my cough asthma triggers. Let me take breath, only pure air is what I guess he's going back talking about his mask.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I still couldn't breathe normally, cough, and I
Cough.
couldn't want anyone, and I didn't want anyone else to be able to do that either.
Cough.
I planned to fix it so nobody in the world could breathe, only me inside my suit.
Cough.
But you took, there are a lot of coughs I'm skipping, but you took your you took your medicine. You were ready for me.
Cough.
You thwarted my plans by taking your asthma medication.
Well, they did it.
So then they're
That's great.
outside and they're waiting for Captain America with their inhalers.
Is there a word find in the back of this thing?
Damn it, I was trying to save it, but yeah. There is a word find in
my
the back
God.
of this thing.
Oh, no.
But basically, they take the Asthma Monster off to jail, and all three of them, he goes, you can't escape me, I'll be back. And all three of them together at the end say, and we'll be ready for you. And they hold up their inhalers like a freeze frame.
Nice.
And then, there's a word find in the back.
Cool. Hey, so your words are allergens, antidote, asthma, attack, breathe, bronchial. Kids love that word. Calm, cures, cough, diet, doctor, drug, emotions, exercise, and many more. So let me tell you a little something about Glaxo. Glaxo is now GlaxoSmithKline.
Oh, they
which you
still
have
exist.
heard of before, I would imagine. If you've ever heard of any pharmaceutical companies or biomedical companies or whatever. So let me read you their little blurb here at the top of their website.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me if you've ever heard anything creepier. Okay?
Great.
GlaxoSmithKline, a new era for human health. GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, is a global biopharma company with the ambition and purpose to unite science, technology, and talent to get ahead of disease together. Is that not? I mean, I don't know how you word
It's kind of like
things.
Westworld word.
It is. It's very Westworldy. Yeah. So with that, let's take a quick break.
Brooks Running has a new shoe for you runners out there. Did you hear that? Better turn up your volume. In fact, turn it up to the max. Introducing the all-new Ghost Max. It's got all kinds of things to make your knees and ankles feel protected, like Max Cushion, Max Soft Landings with DNA Loft V2 foam, and Max Smooth Rides with their Glide Roll Rocker. Feel better on your run with Ghost Max. Learn more at brooksrunning.com.
Day 3 of my exclusively adult virgin voyage. Last night, as I dined on the truffle gnocchi from one of the Michelin star chef-curated menus, I discovered something about myself. I do not miss the chicken nuggets in the back of our freezer. I do not miss them at all.
Come set sail on an award-winning adult Sony voyage. To learn more, visit virginvoyages.com or contact your travel advisor today. Now we're voyaging.
Here's a cool fact. A crocodile can't stick out its tongue. Another cool fact, you can get short-term health insurance for a month or just under a year in some states. United Healthcare short-term insurance plans are designed for people who are between jobs, coming off their parents' plan, or turning a side hustle into a full-time gig. Underwritten by Golden Rule Insurance Company, they offer flexible, budget-friendly coverage with access to a nationwide network of doctors and hospitals. Get more cool facts about United Healthcare short-term plans at uh1.com.
Crypto is like finance, but different. It doesn't care when you invest, trade, or save. Do it on weekends, or at 5 a.m., or on Christmas Day at 5 a.m. Crypto is finance for everyone, everywhere, all the time. Visit kraken.com/see what crypto can be to learn more. Not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss. Cryptocurrency services are provided to U.S. and U.S. territory customers by Payward Ventures, Inc. View PVI's disclosures at kraken.com/legal/disclosures.
And we're back.
Yeah, wow.
That was
I
great.
never thought we would get sponsored by Big Pharma so early.
Yeah, especially when we're making fun of them. That's pretty nice of them.
Well, they sponsored this back in the day, and I was wrong about it being the 70s. I wanted to look up just to make sure. It came out in 1987.
Oh, okay.
Is when they were just,
GSK PLC, formerly GlaxoSmithKline PLC, is a British multinational pharmaceutical and biotechnology company with global headquarters in London, England, established in 2000 by a merger of Glaxo Wellcome and SmithKline Beecham.
Just to wrap up about Captain America and the Asthma Monster.
Yeah.
It was released as a free PSA.
Oh, very nice.
So,
well, it's free, but it's compliments of your position.
But you know what? Did you love that adventure?
I loved it.
Because I can tell you, in 1989, they loved it so much that, I'm sorry, I forgot how I did this.
You're working backwards.
I am. I have compliments of your physician and Allen and Hansberry, Captain America, Return of the Asthma Monster.
Oh, no.
It's a different company this
time.
So,
wait, what company is it now?
Allen and Hansberry.
Allen and Hansberry.
This is just a year and a half after he fought it in 87. He fights it again in 89, but it's presented to you by somebody different.
Okay. So now I need to know who Allen and Hansberry is. Hanbur. Okay. Hansbury. Oh, okay. Pharmaceutical company. Allen and Hansberry's Limited was a British pharmaceutical manufacturer absorbed by Glaxo Laboratories in 1958. So it's the same damn company.
It was still Glaxo, just a different part of them.
Yeah. GlaxoSmithKline, a successor company, used the Allen and Hansberry name for the specialist respiratory division until beginning to phase it out in 2013.
So that's
why, because it's a respiratory division.
Respiratory division.
Yeah.
So essentially,
this one's creepier looking, though.
It is, Mike. I hope you don't want to read a real detailed explanation of this one.
I'm good.
Because I just brought it to show you I couldn't believe there was a sequel, but the same thing happens.
Yeah.
They recapped the last time because maybe you didn't pick up that issue a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So he breaks out of jail, and now he has
a year and a half. A lot of kid can draw dicks and things.
Exactly, and basically on everything.
Sure.
I'm trying to think what these little things are called. It's his allergen gang.
These
little minion creatures that help him?
Yeah, the allergen gang.
It's the same thing. There's a new character
like little
now.
gremlins.
Yeah. There's a new character now.
Is this the same dude?
Time. Yes. We find out his name's
Who
Daniel
the hell let
Thomas.
him out?
He broke out. His allergens let him out. Daniel Thomas.
Danny Thomas?
Yeah.
Like the guy who started the burn hospital for kids? The comedian? Danny Thomas?
Did he really? Hold on. I think it said his name. Hold on. Where was it?
Yeah. Danny Thomas. Yeah, he looks rougher in this one,
I'm sorry,
too.
Daniel Tyler.
Oh, okay. Different guy. Sure.
Yeah. So, but it's the same exact story.
Are there a lot of sicko freaks in this one?
Yeah. It's
or
a
sicko
kid.
nerds?
It's a kid. He's playing basketball, and he's having a coughing fit. And John and Ruth are back.
Oh, good.
You know,
they've grown up some, though. Look at them.
Yeah, you want to keep continuity.
They're really starting to fill out. But her hair is still the same.
Yeah.
She still got the wispy hair.
She did. But so they tell this kid, hey, you might have
broke,
asthma.
Don't fix it.
And he's like, no, I don't. Plus, what would my parents think of me?
Sure.
I don't know how that's a thing now.
Well, his parents are always making fun of him for having asthma.
Yeah, but basically it goes through, it's the same exact story as before, just from skimming over it, except this time he's using allergens.
Does Cap show up in his glistening yellow van again?
He doesn't. They fight them all. They win. It's awful. There's a lot of other stuff, but there was the second one. Dr. David does not appear.
Oh, damn. There is a doctor in this, though. I mean, He means swell. Wait. He means swell your bronchial tubes. Dearie? Some spore spray for your hair, my pretty? What the hell? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Glaxo. A division, or Allen and Hansberry's a division of Glaxo Inc. Oh, it does say that at the top there.
Oh, does it? I'm sorry. I
a
didn't see
division
this
of Glaxo Inc.
All right. I'll speed up a little bit through these last two we have. But now we're getting into...
This prick. Man.
Who, Captain America?
No, not Captain America. The allergy monster. Yeah.
Now, Spider-Man appears in
and
these
who let
last
him
two.
out?
Again, I think his allergen gang let him out.
Oh, okay.
Like they broke in and let him out.
Sure.
Spider-Man,
His allergen gang.
Storm, and Power Man are all in this issue.
Oh, man. I don't know Power Man.
Yes, you do. You know him by a different name now, though, because he just goes by Luke Cage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know him.
But his name was still Luke Cage, but he was also called Power Man.
Power Man. That's a terrible superhero name.
It is.
Not
Now,
Power
these, I'm pretty sure, are from the 70s. This is presented to you by, I'll tell you the name of it is Spider-Man, Storm, and Power Man Battle Smoke Screen.
Uh-oh.
And as you can tell on the back, it's presented,
Vapora.
This publication was made possible by your contribution to the American Cancer Society.
Oh, okay. So this is against smoking.
This is all against smoking.
Gotcha. So we've got a basketball team on the front. That's Luke. Oh, wait. Is Luke Cage
in the top right?
Okay, who's this dude? Oh, that's Smokescreen. Oh,
and
okay.
it's a track team, Mike.
Yeah.
It's a high school track team.
Well, if there's one thing that track kids love, it's cigarettes.
Well, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
Again, Marvel did the whole explain the origins of who they
of
all
all
are.
Three of them.
Super quick, though.
Wow.
Just a panel for each one.
Spider-Man, he got bit by a spider. Storm, she's really pissed. Luke Cage, he was on an operating table one time.
Yep.
There you go.
And that's basically them. Stan Lee presents Spider-Man, Storm, and Power Man versus Smokescreen. So this gets a Stan Lee Presents.
Wow.
But we're basically introduced to the main character of our story, and he is a guy by the name of, it's always so hard to find it, when his name's Brett, but I don't know if it says his last name. We'll just go by Brett, but Brett is our main
they call
character
me Cool with
here
a K.
in this story, and Power Man had been working with him to try to get better at track, and he had a big track meet coming up in
Power Man was working with this dude to get better at track, or was Power Man teaching this guy to be better at track?
Power Man, I think it was teach.
Okay.
He was.
Okay.
It says
so. Power Man didn't resort to going to a high school kid and saying, "Hey, can you teach me to be better at track?"
No, I think the kid came to
it's
him.
the other way around.
It's not explained.
Gotcha.
But I feel like, like he walks over to him afterwards and he goes, "What's happening, Brett? You seem to just fold out there at the end, like he lost."
Sure.
And he goes, "Hey, man, I got winded. I stayed out late last night and I didn't stop to eat anything today." And we come to find out that a girl he's hanging with, who is named Carol,
big fat camel,
who's named Carol, says, "What's the hassle? Brett can outrun any of the other kids.
Yeah, he can.
He's just taking it easy." And Brett tells Carol, "Come on, Carol, I need a cigarette." Peter Parker was there to take pictures for the Daily Bugle, and he basically walks up to Power Man
at the high school track meet.
At the high school track meet. Remember this for when another part of the story comes out.
Okay.
And he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And Power Man tells him, "Well, Brett hasn't been the same. Like, his grades have been slipping." Your typical kind of like, I don't want to say it, but anti-smoking stuff kind of always finds the same. Grade slip, you hang out with the wrong type of people.
Right.
It's kind of the same as the drug PSAs.
You smell like cigarettes.
Yeah. You're hurting your lungs. They all just, I'm not saying this to.
You're trading all the camel bucks for a cool jacket.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, there's going to be a lot of that kind of stuff in here. But what we get to
is a great collection of Zippo lighters.
That's basically what's happened to Brett, as he's made friends, older friends at this arcade.
Yeah.
And
that's where it starts.
You want a cigarette? And they just go there and they play pool and they smoke, right?
Yeah. Do you ever smoke?
No, not really. I dipped for a while.
Oh, that's
for
right.
a good long time. Yeah. No, my dad smoked, so I couldn't, but I could still find a way to harm my body with tobacco in another way.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Did you?
3 packs a day.
Oh, wow.
3 packs a day.
Yeah.
Until I took up track.
Oh, nice.
And then Power Man came to me and said, "Listen, buddy.
You can't smoke.
You can't be smoking and do track.
But
your grades are slipping."
So Brett's hanging out with these older guys there at the, at the
pool hall.
Yeah, the pool hall. Well, it looks like a pool hall, but it's an arcade. There's, I guess, video games over there.
Starts with P and rhymes with T and stands for trouble.
And so he's been hanging out there.
Right here in Metropolis City.
Spider-Man and Power Man follow him to be like, he's hanging out with the wrong kind of people.
Yeah.
Then there's we get a cut to them in class just so
Learning
they can
about
explain
the respiratory
what
system.
smoking does to the respiratory system.
Right.
Luke Cage goes to school and
Power
asks
Man,
to look.
thank you very much.
Oh, Luke Cage. Luke Cage goes to school and asks to see Brett's records, basically, and looks and is able to see them, right?
I think
they just pull them out of the file folder.
Yeah.
And also they pull out Carol's.
I'm not so sure we're able to show you that, Mr. Cage.
It says, meanwhile, in the principal's office, is that the right file? And Luke Cage says, sure is. Carol Hunter. Look at this. She was a straight A student. Suddenly, here she's making C's, even D's, and missing classes.
FERPA problem, right?
So Carol's.
Is that not a FERPA issue?
What is that?
Where like you can't show kids, you can't show people their records.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I don't know
care
why,
if you are Luke Cage.
I
Get
don't
out
know
of
why
here.
classification is, but yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's FERPA.
Yeah. But essentially, Storm is kind of, over. She's in the area too, and notices the guys being kind of strange. And
I
they're
wouldn't be surprised if Storm smoked.
Yeah.
Kind
of, but in like a cool, sexy way.
Well, like those big, long-ass Virginia Slims.
Yeah. At one point in time, if I remember correctly in the comics, I think she was married to Black Panther. I think she's part Wakandan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If I remember, there you go. Marvel tidbits.
Okay.
But yeah.
Luke Cage, what's his deal?
He's very strong.
Right. But I mean, what's
bulletproof.
What happened to him?
He was here's what I can tell you. I remember from watching the Marvel series.
Yeah.
And it could be. I think it's very much similar.
He got bit by a carpenter ant.
He was kind of like he was used as an experiment.
So kind of like
whatever
Captain
happened,
America
used him.
thing,
Yeah. And like he's in prison. He's wrongfully convicted and in prison in the series.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of like get a little bit better treatment in jail, he starts boxing other inmates of. And so they find out that he's kind of like the biggest, baddest guy in the prison.
Okay.
And so they take him and use him as their specimen then for this experiment
that
like the warden's doing or whatever.
Pick out the biggest dude,
Yeah, and the machine goes haywire when it happens and kind of explodes. And
lightning strikes.
He's resulted with like, super strength. And I want to say I don't know if he's bulletproof. Maybe, I don't know.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, but so that's what I remember about Luke Cage. Actual comic fans are probably going to hate that, but there you go. But so the guys that were hanging out with Brett say, I think it's about time we gave the boss a report. And they're like, yeah. And Storm sees them being kind of sneaky and like walking down.
Sure.
So she goes and she walks down the stairs because it's underneath the arcade. And as she appears there, she's listening to them. And they're like, hey, boss, can you come out? We have the punk fooled. Not fueled.
The punk fooled.
There's no way that kid can win the race, but all the outside money's on him. Our betting operation is about to clean up.
Okay, hang on. They got a high school kid, track star, hooked on cigarettes so they could fix the race.
Yes.
That they are betting on, again, high school track.
Oh, and it's enough money that they will make off this that he can basically take over the mob.
Wow. Okay.
But
who knew?
They're telling him this.
The more you know.
And he finally says, hey, you idiots, like there's somebody else amongst us. And he finds her and sneaks up behind her and knocks Storm out. And he goes, but soon enough, the world shall hear of the man called Smokescreen.
Sure.
Right? Because he just uses Smokescreen.
Everybody wants to hear
then
about him.
this was kind of weird to me. There was like a window shopping fun.
Wait, what?
It's called window shopping fun. Jamie is considering stopping smoking. One reason is that buying cigarettes consumes most of Jamie's spending money each week.
Sure.
Figure along with Jamie in the examples below. If cigarettes cost, and it gives like, how much, a book costs this much, a movie costs this much. Like, if Jamie smoked 4 less packs a day, like how much would he be able to afford?
4 less packs a day.
Sure. No, I'm sorry, a week. If Jamie smokes at least 4 packs of cigarettes a week,
okay.
How long would it take him to be able to buy each of the items above if he quit smoking today?
So the way you appeal to kids and stop them from smoking is have them do math.
And make them buy things.
Sure.
Here's what was the thing that I found
mindless
weird.
Consumerism, kids.
So this has to be, I'm pretty sure, in the 70s. I'll look it up here in a second to double check.
Why, does it say how much cigarettes cost?
Well, no. Here's the thing. It says classroom activities. Question: does smoking raise or lower body temperature? How to find the answer. Use a digital thermometer that registers skin temperature changes to compare the temperature of a volunteer student smoker.
Wait, what?
of a volunteer student smoker.
Hey, come here. Put this in your mouth.
Yeah. Hey, who wants to smoke for our example? I do. All right, come on.
Put this in your mouth.
Yeah, and after one cigarette, temperature, and they keep it before and after. And they have like other things. How to find the answer. Test the pulse rate of a student smoker volunteer.
Sure, yeah.
But they want other students to be your volunteers for this.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's great.
But now we come
Why
to
is that
chapter
window
2.
shopping?
I mean, for the items.
Oh.
He's staring at the
I
windows.
see. Okay.
So our adventure then carries on to chapter 2. It's revealed that, Smokescreen is going to use this. They want him
that
to
big
throw
SS
the race.
on his chest.
So you didn't know who he was.
SS.
Oh, yeah. No, you couldn't get him
That's
confused for
wonderful,
it.
yeah.
He
looks like Zorro.
He does. So, but his whole idea is to get Brett to lose the race because they'll bet on him and they'll rake in.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah.
So, because so many people
High school
bet
sports.
on
High school track, boy.
Well, basically, Luke Cage and them show up at the arcade.
You know, I've been at a high school track meet before where they just had to shoo the bookies away right before the thing started.
Oh yeah, no, it is vicious.
Terrible.
Luke Cage and Spider-Man show up at the arcade where Brett's at, and they basically kind of attack the older guy, the henchman.
Yeah.
And they tell him like, hey, so when, Storm didn't report in, we came to take a look, and that's when we found you two. And basically they find out, because the guys show back up. Smokescreen doesn't feel good enough about him being hooked on cigarettes being a good enough, thing for him to lose.
Right.
So he says, go to him and tell him to lose.
Oh.
So they tell him that. And when Brett has a problem with
what
that.
about all this money we've spent on cigarettes for this kid?
But Brett has a problem with that. So he's not, he can't believe he trusted those guys. He would never lose on purpose.
Sure.
So he realizes now, and he sees the error of his ways, and he quits smoking because he's got to train for the next 48 hours for the big race. And the race happens.
How soon do your lungs regenerate?
Well, not long enough here.
Oh.
Because essentially, so Smokescreen has the casino underneath or wherever it's at. Meanwhile, below the amusement arcade, where Smokescreen operates an illegal sports casino, and he's like, everything's going perfectly in this caper. Yeah, that's what it says. With this, we'll have enough money to control the mob sports betting scene.
Sure, yeah.
Right? From this high school track betting.
Yeah.
But Storm shows up. She kind of tells them that the coast is clear. The thing is, Brett does not do very well in the race.
Oh, poor Brett.
He ends up second.
Oh.
And he loses, but they're like, hey, Brett, that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
We understand, you're working on it. You're getting better. That's all you can do. Now now you're getting better.
He's trying to wean himself off, so you see him running down the track. He's got a pipe now.
I was going to say his arm has like the nicotine patches.
That's right. He's got a bunch of nicotine patches.
And then after that, basically, Spider-Man, Luke Cage, and Storm go back and they defeat Smokescreen. And then they show back up, and this was kind of...
They defeat Smokescreen with a Class B fire extinguisher.
It does not... He's taken care of pretty easily by webbing.
Sure.
And he's just kind of webbed up and taken out, and that's the last you see of him.
Yeah.
But Brett's kind of approached by the kids that he quit hanging out with to hang out with the older guys who bought him cigarettes.
Right.
And he's like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm trying to learn from my ways. Do you accept me now? And they're like, no, you were mean to us. And, all that.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Spidey goes like, and Luke Cage like, yeah, but he helped us fight Smokescreen. And they're like, okay, he is pretty cool then. Yeah, Brett, it's nice to have you and Carol back.
Oh, that'll do it.
And that's all it takes. And that's the end of that one.
It's just over.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that brings us to the, what is the fancy French word for something big? Is it the coup de grace?
Coup de grace, yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I love a good coup de grace first thing in the morning. Hey, did you know that about 90% of cigarette smoke is made up of a dozen gases, all bad for us?
Yes.
Did you also know that many smokers say they notice a better sense of taste and smell once they have quit smoking?
Yes.
After you stop smoking, it takes 12 hours for the CO levels in your blood to get back to normal.
Really?
Who knew? Thank you, American Cancer Society, Luke Cage, Spider-Man, and Storm.
So here is as I said, our coup de grace.
Yeah, coup de grace.
The Amazing Spider-Man versus the Prodigy.
Oh.
What do you think this one is about, Mike?
The Prodigy. Addiction to music.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
That's fine.
I don't know.
Basically, I'm going to kind of keep this to myself. I'll let you look through when I'm done.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spoil this.
Sure.
So Spider-Man's just kind of hanging out in New York City. The Prodigy.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to tell you. It says a special blank issue of, and it's Stan Lee Presents, The Amazing Spider-Man. Right. And it says Pull of the Prodigy.
Okay. Pull.
P-U-L-L.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Spider-Man is climbing up some wall in Manhattan, and he's just looking around. All of a sudden, he sees this giant gold helicopter.
Uh-oh.
And he's like,
gold?
Hey, yeah. And he's like, hey, what do we have here?
Okay.
I mean, it's giant. I think it's just colored gold. I don't think it's made out of gold.
Not made of gold. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
But he's like, what do we have here? And we cut to...
What's a helicopter, idiot?
This giant helicopter. And it says, well, faithful ones, as you can see, what we have here is a helicopter being readied for takeoff. And its passengers hardly look like your run-of-the-mill. We have a date for the polo matches, upper-class commuters.
Oh, come on. This is about class warfare?
You think that's what this is about?
I think that's where we're going.
And it says, watch your step, kids. You don't want to lose your heads over this now. It looks like it's all teenagers.
Yeah, so this is about peer pressure and class warfare, basically.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So,
we'll see. Okay.
We'll see.
I'm better than you because I got money.
Spider-Man is just interested and goes, this is kind of weird. I wonder where they're going.
Yeah.
They don't look like the bunch to have the money to travel this extravagantly.
Yeah.
And so he kind of follows them. And then we're shown this mansion that we're taken to. And it says, and if you're wondering the same thing, we won't torture you any longer about where they're going.
Okay.
It says, let us whisk you away on the wings of Marvel, faster than any mere helicopter can travel. We might add, and drop you down at the very spot toward which this kidcopter is headed. A secluded 200...
Kidcopter.
Yeah.
Okay.
A 200-acre estate somewhere in the mountains. And we see guards they're dressed in fatigues.
Okay.
And they're down there, I'm assuming outside. And one of them says, this should be the next bunch of kids. So far, the boss has recruited and robotized kids all over the country. His master plan is almost complete. And the other guard says, think of it. He's got thousands of kids so brainwashed they aren't capable of doing anything but carrying out his plan. It's the voice of his. When he gets that special vibration in his voice, it's like the kids are drawn to him by the very power of his words. And it says, see note page 4, editor. And it tells you about, or just Ed.
Wait, has footnotes?
Yeah. It says Ed, and there's a footnote down here. I'll just skip ahead to what it says, and it just tells you that the Prodigy's voice took on its special magnetic powers when the rocket ship coming from his native planet Intellectia in the Andromeda Galaxy passed through the Earth's ionosphere. Because of weak deflector shields, his vocal cords were exposed to intense heat and radiation. On Earth, his voice draws people to him like a vacuum cleaner.
Like the brown note.
He's green, as you can see, but he wears a human mask to look like a
normal
person.
Got a big old head.
He says, this pale skin makes me nauseous. I won't be an earthling for all the brain power of Intellectia. Yeah, but he's like, that should do it. I should be able to blend in. And he's like, my mind bending has worked. They won't learn anything about anything here. They can't think straight, and my lies will lead them into stupid mistakes. So the Prodigy is lying about stuff to these kids on purpose, right?
No kidding.
So he's walking down the hall, and I'm just going to reveal it while it gets through here.
Come on.
I'm letting the suspense build. It's worth it.
Yeah.
And he's like, how I love the way I get them to swallow all the sludge I hand out.
Gross.
Kinda weird, yeah. Imagine, they really think you can't get pregnant before you're 15, or the first time you have sex, or if you only do it once in a while.
What the?
I should mention at the very beginning, this is a special Planet Parenthood issue.
Oh, come on. Planned Parenthood. This is...
Spider-Man's going to teach us about sex.
Wow. Neat.
Yeah. That's what this is about.
Well, he did give Mary Jane cancer.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Through his
spider sperm.
I mean, maybe that was the Prodigy's doing.
It could be, yeah.
But I love that he goes, they think you can't get pregnant before 15.
Yikes.
Or the first time you have sex, you can't get pregnant.
Sure.
Or if you only do it once in a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's some things I'm going to have to read in the back of this to you. That's just the best part of this is just what he says.
Can you imagine being like a guy that works at Marvel or a person that works at Marvel and they approach you and go, here, listen, we got a special project. Planned Parenthood came to us and said they'd love to have Spider-Man's help.
Yep. And so Stan Lee's like, let's do it. So
Wow.
Spider-Man does fall, like he hangs onto the copters and he follows in and kind of hangs off the roof to see what everybody's there for. And he looks in on this classroom type now filled with the Prodigy dressed as a human and all these kids. And it says, and so Spider-Man drops a notice into the trees, and minutes later we find him hanging unobserved outside what appears to be a classroom filled with teenagers. And the Prodigy says, remember, all those people who tell you don't do it, don't get into heavy stuff. They just try to scare you into thinking it's easy to get pregnant. But I say, how else can you prove you're a man?
Sure. Yeah.
How else are you going to get a man?
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
So
yeah.
how are you going to prove it? How can you get a man?
Drop your drawers.
Anyway, everybody does it.
Yeah.
So how can it harm you?
True.
All that jazz about responsibility and
who
waiting
doesn't
till
do
you're
it?
older?
You know who doesn't do it?
Who?
Those sicko nerds.
That's
who
true.
doesn't do it. They
See?
run out of steam. They can't do it.
All that jazz about responsibility and waiting till you're older, that's just to keep you from having a good time. And because obviously his voice, works, they're like buying into this.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's like, what? What jive stuff is this turkey?
You said jive?
It says
and
what?
he says turkey?
He goes, what jive stuff this turkey hands out?
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
He's getting really out, or he's getting really out to get kids. He's really out to get kids. Nothing's wrong with being in love or having babies, but there's got to be responsibility. Imagine a baby in my life right now. It's all I can handle to scrape up enough bread to buy my daily Twinkies.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Right? So
You talk about pinpointing a time in American history.
Yeah. We flash back to the classroom because this is my favorite part of it.
Okay.
I don't know why.
All right.
No, just the Prodigy and the kids part of what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
This high school kid says, but junior high kids say they see films that tell them things they want to know, so they learn how it happens. Won't that help?
What?
Exactly. What? I'll read it again to you. But junior high kids say they see films that tell them things they want to know, so they learn how it happens. Won't that help?
That makes no sense.
Exactly. And then another kid stands up, says, yeah. And knowing about stuff you can do, or knowing about stuff you can buy at drugstores to keep from getting pregnant or getting VD.
VD.
Yeah. And then the Prodigy says, why bother with a lot of hassle? Pregnancy is good for you.
Yeah, sure.
Helps your hormones, even clears up acne. And the best time to have babies is when you're young enough
oh my God.
to enjoy them.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
and Spider-Man
no.
says, my webbed head, I'm no Marcus Welby.
Oh, yeah.
That
That was a TV doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Marcus Welby, MD.
Yeah, there's got to be some way these kids can get the right info.
Is this like 1970,
It's
71?
like 76. It's
Okay.
76 for
All
this.
right.
So essentially, like Spider-Man's just sneaking around, like, how can they do this? Spider-Man says he wants them to be baby machines, changing diapers, going nowhere in dead-end jobs, sitting home every night trying to find the time and money to go to a movie or buzz out to the burger stand.
Buzz out to the burger stand.
What kind of life can they have? No chance to develop. They'll never have a chance with his crazy scheme. They'll just be his puppets. What a crafty creep. We flash back to the Prodigy. And don't worry, some folks might come down on you, but trust me, believe me, you'll be safe and have everything you'll need. And without a worry in the world, your babies won't be a burden. They'll be brought up by experts. After all, they're important.
Sure.
And he goes, in fact, in just an hour, I'm going on nationwide television to tell young people about the glorious carefree life they can welcome to share in my utopian retreats all over the country.
Well, so the dude with the big head says you got to have a baby when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Because you got to enjoy them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about condoms or anything like that.
Yeah.
You goofballs. It's more fun.
You can't get pregnant before you're 16.
You can't get pregnant before you're 14, right?
No,
Isn't
15.
that what he said? 15. Okay. Before you're 15.
Or every once in a while.
And these kids are watching some kind of movies that are making them ask questions.
Apparently junior high kids get the right information, but these high school, because they look like high school kids. Here, I'll show you.
My God.
Like the girl who asked that, I feel like it has to be.
This
That's
some
why
crazy
it's a weird
ass stuff here.
I know,
man.
right? And let's not forget, this is a Marvel and Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
Looks like a high school girl, right?
Yeah,
the way they draw.
Uh-huh.
So it's weird that junior high kids see that stuff and they don't.
Yeah.
But either way,
I want to know who's showing these junior high kids stuff.
I guess the teachers probably.
But
I
okay.
don't know. Basically, Prodigy goes on for his national, television, and he's
why is he going on TV
to spread his?
But
message.
I'm saying, who's letting him on TV?
I don't know. Doesn't say.
Dude, with this big-headed dude came to us and said he wants to go on TV.
Spider-Man breaks in and they fight, and he pulls off his mask to show them. That, hey, the Prodigy is,
he's green.
This green guy.
No,
and then
that'll do it. That's a real boner killer right there.
And then he's like, but thanks to the miracle of modern communication, the cameras are still rolling and kids everywhere can see what you really are.
Thanks to the miracle of modern communication.
Yeah. Because the cameras are still
button?
rolling after he pulled the mask off. No, he was recording live when he broke in.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, okay.
So he goes to attack him and he honestly squirts web in his mouth.
Come on.
Kid you not.
Come on.
And he makes like a gagging noise. Yep.
No.
So, of course, that's in there. Also, they had the swallow my sludge line earlier.
Yeah.
Kind of hits weirder now, doesn't it?
Somebody took some liberty on this thing.
So
they're like, yeah, you want me to make a comic book about this?
So
sure.
the Prodigy is choking on the ground, and Spider-Man, I guess, says or thinks, so ends
right in the mouth.
The pernicious power of the Prodigy.
Penis.
I looked pretty good in front of those cameras. Maybe I'll get a part in a series.
Spider-Man says that?
Yes.
Okay.
Here was my favorite part of this, Mike.
Wow.
Because it says, what are the facts?
Yeah. With the little Spider-Man head.
Yeah.
That's kind of the one they used on the electric company and all that stuff.
I want this
Friendly
said that
neighborhood
this is,
Spider-Man.
I'm reading directly from this.
Okay.
This does not represent any of my views or anything like that, just because there's some stuff in here that about pregnancy.
Uh-huh.
And it gets, hide your kids' ears if you don't want them to hear this stuff.
Yeah.
After a girl starts menstruating, pregnancy is possible no matter what her age.
Okay.
These are all the facts, Mike.
Okay, sure.
Pregnancy is least likely during a menstrual period, but it can happen even then. Figuring safe days usually requires medical help. And they put safe days in quotes.
Safe days?
Yeah. Pregnancy can occur the first time you have sex, even if it's only for a few minutes.
Well, it's always going to be.
And then it says,
okay.
There's a simple test that tells whether you're pregnant or not. If your period is overdue, go to a doctor or clinic.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, that's decent advice.
That is all decent advice, right?
Yeah.
No problem so far.
Don't swallow your baby.
About thoughts.
Wait, what?
About thoughts is what this one says.
Okay.
Dreams, thoughts, and wishes about sex are natural.
Sure.
Masturbation won't make you insane or harm you in any other way.
Make you insane.
Or harm you in any other way.
Wow, okay.
About homosexuality.
Uh-oh, here we go.
The way a person looks or acts is no clue to homosexuality.
Okay.
Having a close friend or being attracted to a person who's of the same sex doesn't mean you're homosexual or even will be.
Will be.
That's what it says.
I just grew into it.
That's
what it was.
They're pushing that to the kids back then. Yep. About venereal diseases.
Okay, good.
VD won't go away by itself.
Oh.
A doctor can cure it with a few shots. It's possible to catch VD more than once. VD is contagious and can be caught even if you have sex only once. About feelings. Having sex doesn't show that a boy is masculine or that a girl is popular. Having sex doesn't necessarily mean a couple's in love.
Okay.
About a boy and girl who are in love don't need to have sex to prove it. And a boy and girl.
Yeah, sure.
About careers.
Careers.
Masculine/feminine work roles are changing. Doctors are both men and women, and so are nurses. Dropping out of school at an early age usually leads to a dead-end job.
that has nothing to do with Planned Parenthood. Okay.
But that's in there. And then there's some other stuff about they're selling other sex books you can buy at the back about more information.
The big 3 info packet. Sure.
Spider-Man's on both these. It's like, and where to get stuff at like Planned Parenthood. But yeah.
If you've shot your web in the wrong direction.
So Spider-Man versus Prodigy. I came across that and I was like, there's got to be more. And I came across more. And there is one. There's like bike safety taught by Spider-Man and Ghost Rider that I'll bring out at some point in time.
Pull of the Prodigy.
Pull of the Prodigy. Yeah. But there you go. So Marvel PSAs.
This is great, man. You did a great job. Oh my God, you didn't tell me how this dude was dressed. He's got his disco shoes and his little cane and the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, his special vibrations got them all. That's great. Well, fantastic. Thanks, Spider-Man, for fixing pregnancy. Okay. Having sex doesn't show that a boy is masculine. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, great. Thanks for that, Zach. Can't get that out of my head.
So there you go. There's all the PSA
Spider-Man
with some of your favorite Marvel characters. Daredevil talks about gasoline safety.
Vapora.
Captain America fought an asthma monster twice.
Asthma Monster.
And Spider-Man and Luke Cage and Storm fought against teen smoking. Smokescreen. And then Spider-Man taught you all about actual sex facts.
Masturbation won't make you insane.
All right, just because you're attracted to somebody or a close friend doesn't mean that you are homosexual or will be.
Yeah.
Why do they or will be?
Well, if you try really hard, maybe you too can be homosexual.
Oh man.
Well, that was great, Zach. Thanks so much. We really appreciate all your time and effort.
Marvel PSAs. I can go ahead, and I know that I usually don't tease stuff, but I came across something last week.
Well, teasing won't make you insane.
I have two things where I have actual comic books for.
Oh.
When I went on vacation last month to Galveston, I swung by a comic book store there because I just like swinging by other places.
Sure.
I'll give them a shout out when I get to it, but I was just randomly looking for stuff for us to cover.
Sure. Just weird stuff.
And I came across a comic that just looked insane, just like was weird.
Okay.
And they had most of the run. It was only 15 issues and they had 10. And I was like, well, I don't want to do the whole thing. No. So I picked the ones with the weirdest covers.
Oh, nice.
And so we'll just follow this. I'm pretty sure there's not much to follow, but it's kind of 80s and it's
very
peak.
Cool.
Also, what I came across last week when I went to Bankston's, I was digging through the dollar bin, which is just where I like to look for stuff, and I came across both books.
Colossus teaches about diarrhea.
No, it doesn't. It's those Elseworld stories, kind of like we done. You remember Commandy at Earthsend?
Sure.
Superman 2099 or whatever it was, or Superman or Earthsend. Along those same lines, we have another one set in the year 3000, and we have Robin 3000.
Oh,
and I
remember that.
I was able to find both book 1 and book 2 because they're like a little bit longer, and they have like the harder, kind of stiffer cardboard covers.
Yeah, after that Spider-Man, don't we all?
Oh, for sure. Especially after he demasked the Prodigy.
That's right. Will be.
But it looks like it's, set kind of in that same just ridiculousness.
Yeah.
So I think that it would be a fun bad read to kind of go through and just very great, 90s-esque. So that'll be coming up in the future too. I kind of just wait till the week of. And I have things like just around. I'm like, what's going to hit me?
It's not like there's a shortage of this crap out there. There's tons of it.
Well, we talked about it last week. We're going to have we're going to have a new Nemesis in 2023. So we're going to have new stuff coming out too. And there's some of the stuff I found out. You've heard of Marvel Zombies? I just found this out today.
Yeah.
Apparently back in, I think, 2009, they did a 4-issue series, and it was Marvel Apes. And all the characters
everybody's
are
a gorilla.
Monkeys.
Oh, that's great.
So,
Wonderful.
So there's tons of stuff that we still have that we can get into.
Why would everybody
Some of
be
the
an ape?
Strange, some of the just ridiculous. It's even some of the good thrown in there
everybody
too.
A monkey? Do you know?
I don't know.
Why would they make everybody a monkey? Okay. Well, that saddened me.
I'm sorry. But so I was just saying we have I just saw the covers of it.
All right.
But so
Good job, man.
Yep, there you go. Marvel PSAs. Hopefully they taught you something.
They did.
As always, you can find us on Instagram, brofo.hero, or email us brosfoesandheroes@gmail.com. Also, you can check out roguemedianetwork.com.
roguemedianetwork.com, where you can find all your favorite podcasts, or at least some that you didn't know about.
There you go. And as always, we appreciate you guys listening.
It's great.
Thank you, sir. As always, I have fun doing it with you.
Yeah.
And until next time, everybody, stay safe.
Masturbation won't make you insane. Golly gone.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.